Some more vibrational changes, okay? I know I touched on friends because I was really thinking about my old friends yesterday. But it has a lot more to do with, well, it has everything to do with everything in your life, okay? The higher you vibrate, the more pleasant your life becomes. Love is the highest vibration, and fear is the lowest vibration. So the more you are in tune with love, the higher your vibration becomes, the more pleasant your life becomes. And those that are still stuck in fear and in the lower vibrations, it's difficult for them to deal with the higher vibrations of love. It's very uncomfortable for them unless they begin to love themselves and resonate with it. Um, it has a lot more to do with everything other than just friends, because when I quit my job that I was, and yes, I had quit it off and on for like 12 years. I worked at that shop, but what finally sealed it for me was those vibrations were so low I couldn't deal with it anymore, because I had finally started to love myself for who I was. And since they were uncomfortable with me, I was uncomfortable with them, basically, is the way it turned out. I couldn't be in a place where people were being judgmental and I kept getting fussed at all the time. I just wanted love and peace, and that was the vibration I was at. And even though I hadn't gotten to this point that I'm at now yet, that was really my first step. It was, and they're not bad people, they're just different from me. That's what I drew to myself whenever I didn't understand myself or care to really. So after I began to understand myself and I liked who I was, I just, it was uncomfortable for me being there. And it was probably uncomfortable for them, me being there. So I felt like it was probably best to just, and, you know, I'm looking at this monitor, it looks better over there, but the camera's over here, sorry. The chair's kind of loud, sorry. But, see, it wasn't that difficult to work there up until a certain point. They weren't so naggy at me up until a certain point. And I think that's just because I had become so different. They started to think I was losing my mind, or they got really uncomfortable with me because of how different I had become. But really, what it was is that I got more comfortable with my inner self and I started to show it outwardly more. And that was the beginning of my vibrational change into the higher vibrations of love, is the way I see it. That it happens with so much. If you feel uncomfortable in your job and you need to do something else, don't hold yourself back. What's important in your life is your experience, not your paycheck. That it took me a while to struggle with that, because I was the breadwinner and I was the one that supported the family, and it was like, but how am I going to quit my job that makes all this money and still be able to function? And trust me, it's possible. And while I have not yet made a red cent from YouTube, I'm getting there because I'm getting more viewers. Hello everybody, and I love you. Mwah. And I would much rather have some hard times a little bit working on what it is I really like to do and what it is I really feel like I'm here for. And even I took a personality test, and I would have to like bring it up to show you. I'd like to read it to you. I probably could, but shoot, what was the name of that test? I'll have to type that in the description, and I will, because I don't want to waste time on the video looking for it. But basically, I'm a benevolent teacher of mankind. And I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but I feel like it's true, because all I ever want to do is learn as much as I can so I can pass it on and teach it. I don't automatically know everything. I know quite a few things that just pass through me from my higher self. But as far as Rush is concerned, she's got to work hard to learn things. So, and or I've got to work hard to learn things. So that's what my whole being is about. I try to learn what we need to know right now, and I try to pass it on. So, but I got sidetracked. My point to you is literally, if things are making you more upset than they used to, then perhaps you have moved on spiritually and you need to move on physically to follow suit. Um, I'm not a farmer anymore. I'm not doing what I was doing, and I only needed it for peace because apparently I am blazing through this so fast. My life just keeps changing over and over and over. But I like to think I found my spot, and we've got a nice blank backyard. I actually did have some seeds with me, and I didn't think I did. But we've got a nice blank backyard, and I can just start a little garden here, and we can have enough to feed the family and enough herbs to, because I've been learning herbal medicine, and we're going to be set. Everything I learn, we're going to be set. And I feel like that's what it was for, No matter what happens in the world, I feel like I don't have to worry because my heart guided me exactly to where I needed to be. And I'm sorry, my hair's a mess, by the way. But that doesn't matter. I didn't brush it yet, okay? I fell asleep this morning. I took a long nap, and then I got up, tossed my hair in a bun, and started cleaning and cooking lunch for Marcus when he got home. Point being, none of that matters, but everything leads you to where you need to be. Follow your heart. Ultimately, do what makes you happy. Do what makes your heart sing. Listen to your soul. Your heart is the guide to your soul. For love is the highest vibration, and if you're trying to raise your vibrations into your own true happiness, follow your heart to where your love is. And love, again, is not in a man, it's not in a woman, it's not in an object. It's within you first. And you're not going to find it outside of yourself until you find it inside of yourself. But anything that you feel like needs to change, if you are uncomfortable living where you're living, move. If you are uncomfortable working where you're working, get a different job or find some other way to support yourself. Like, whenever I was a farmer, I was working for my keep. You can find places like that. It's not too difficult. Just look. If you don't want to deal with money, then don't deal with money. I myself, I didn't want to deal with money because it's the physical manifestation of a negative energy to me. But it's all in the power you put into it. And right now, we're in the monetary system. So, I'd like to think not for long. But we shall see. Whatever doesn't resonate with you, cinch it. Get rid of it from your life. It's still at the lower vibrations that you were at before. And if you're trying to move forward in your spiritual aspects, then you need to find your love, your happiness, your peace, follow your heart, do what makes you happy. And don't let fear hold you back. Be smart, but don't let fear hold you back. Just use your perceptions wisely. And if you're in a relationship and your spouse is not nice to you and makes you sad all the time, then news for you, that's probably not the right spouse, because, again, true love would not drag you down to that low of a frequency. So, if they're dragging you down, they don't really love you. Even if they think they do, and on some spiritual level they do love you, but physically, no. their ego's more in love with themselves than it is with you. So, yeah. Be true to yourself because you are ultimately the only person you really know, or the only person you really need to know. Now, while I'm speaking about us like we're all separated, and I know we're not, yes, we are all a piece of the same energy life force that brings us here. We are all source ultimately. God or source, whatever you want to call it, is us, fragmented. Every single thing you look at, everything in the world came from source. It's really not that hard to figure out. Where did it come from? It all came from the same energy. Okay, it's just condensed and slowed down to where it looks physical. And I've discussed this before, but it's more than just humans, plants, and animals. Your computer is part of source. Your desk is part of source. Your floor, your house, everything is part of source. So, but what controls source is consciousness. And we are conscious beings. So, mind your conscious thoughts. Stay positive. Be happy. And you will raise the rest of source little by little with you. It helps more than you think into the higher vibrations of love, and eventually we will change the world. And that is my mission. Ese es temple, right? I can't see it on the one that's got the camera, but I can see it over there. It's bugging me. It's okay. Doesn't matter. But, shucks. Now I don't know what to say, but vibrational changes happen in every aspect of your life. It can be from like a bar that you're used to going to or something. You can tell when your vibrations are beginning to rise higher because things are not comfortable anymore that used to be comfortable to you all the time. Things that were in your day-to-day life that you figured you could deal with forever, all of a sudden you just can't deal with it anymore, or it seems like it's more negative than it was and it just rakes at you and rakes at your personality. Those are things you need to kick from your life. Not necessarily entirely, but just move to the side. And because like I still have a friend from that job. Shiva, be loud. I still have a friend from that job that I talk to from time to time. I just needed to get out of that job. And the RV park where I worked, and I needed to leave because everything was so negative, I just couldn't be there in person. But I can go back and visit and hang out with the friends that were resonating with me. You don't have to give everything up. Just let them know, I'm sorry, this isn't working for me. I need to go somewhere else. And find the right words. Communication. And I told my friend this yesterday? Was it? Probably yesterday. Maybe the day before, but I think it was yesterday. Communication goes a long way. It really does. You may have to search for the right words to tell them, but communication goes a long way, and people understand you more than you think. If you just be honest with them and tell them your side of it. And if you need any help with this, I've been kind of blazing through it, so I'm at a point. I'm at a point now where the only dense energy around me is the little girl, because she's little and she's testing. She's at that age where she's testing, and she's really what she's doing is making everything. How do I say this properly? And I love her to death. She's adorable and she's a sweetheart. She's a little Aquarius, so I understand her more than she knows. But she's testing, and she wants everything to go her way, so she thinks. But whenever her dad tells her no or disagrees with her, she pitches a huge fit. And that's just common in children, and you've got to give them boundaries. The whole point of adults and children is that the adult is supposed to teach the child. And if we don't, they will grow up to stay in the testing phase. And it does not. I'm not saying she needs her butt beat or anything. What I'm saying is she needs boundaries. Like with Alex, I made her go to the corner or write lines. I did spank Alex a couple of times, not very often, but that's when she really pushed me. And it's not like, I wasn't like my parents. I didn't use a whip or a belt or anything. That was, no. So, but that's just, okay. Too much. I was supposed to be talking about vibrational changes, and I got on to raising children. Anyway, but that's the only negative right now, is the little 6-year-old girl testing. And she wants to be the boss. But she needs to learn that we need to work together, and no one should really be boss so much. Except this is what I have trouble with, because as a mother, I feel like they don't know enough. And you have to take reins and be boss. So you have to put yourself above the children for a little while, because you have to be like, no, I'm right, you just don't know yet. But I hated it when people did that to me. I was always such a smart kid, so it really racked my nerves, and I'm like, I don't want to be that to them. I just want to be nice to them. But when they're being rude, you've got to teach them to be nice. I guess you don't have to. You can let them grow up however, but I think it's better to teach them to be nice, because there's enough pushy, manipulative, selfish people in the world. So above all else, I tried to teach Alex to be nice. And I'm proud of her because I know she's a sweetheart. I just haven't had her for almost a year, so I don't know exactly how she is right now. And it hurts me to say that. It hurts me to say I don't have my child with me. It hurts me to not have my child with me. But eventually, Damien and I will be talking again, and we'll figure this out. So, but Damien is at a much lower vibration than I have followed my spirit, my soul. I've really been working on that, and he's been working on, I don't know, because I haven't been there, but we clash. So there's a vibrational difference there, I can tell. But we've always clashed. But now we clash more, because he used to like me and he used to talk to me, and now it's like, you know, I told him happy birthday and he was all, I'm getting off Facebook. Okay. Perhaps I got a little too personal here. But my point is, follow your heart and do what feels right. Damn the consequences. Do what feels right. Use your perceptions and do not put yourself in danger. Your heart is a good guide. If it feels wrong, more than likely it is. But pay attention to yourself and understand what your emotions and your feelings are telling you about the situation. So that's it. Bing! No. No, it's time for me to go wash those dishes. And fold the clothes. No. It's okay. I don't care. Washing dishes and folding the clothes is really all I got left to do because the rest of the house, bing, I did it, except I haven't cleaned up the piano yet, obviously. I can't play for crud, we know that, right? Okay, just so we know. Anyway, I love you all, and I will talk to you later. Au revoir, bye-bye.